After almost 10 years, I found out my daughter is not mine, biologically. Update. January 18, 2023. I have a DNA test ordered. Wife is in search of alternative residence. She wants couples therapy. I considered shortly until more came to light. I commented a few times below that she had been sending likely biodata updates with school pictures. Also went to see him 5 years ago and took him to lunch. First off, I haven't used this throwaway account in 6 years. I am surprised it still is active. Anyway, I got together with my wife about 15 years ago. She came with a pre-made family of a daughter and 2 boys. Then in October of 2012 she got pregnant. We weren't trying to conceive, but weren't actively trying to prevent either. The date of conception seemingly matched up, and a beautiful baby girl was born August of 2013. I have been led to believe until this last Saturday that she was 100% mine, and I never questioned it. But over the weekend I took our youngest son Stepson, but you all know I see him as mine, to a show choir event and met up with an old friend from around the time of my daughter's birth. A friend I met through my wife. This friend and I had a few drinks, and she said she needed to get something off her chest that she's been holding secret for years, and told me everything. I was shocked to say the least. The next day I called and confronted my wife, and initially she denied it, but admitted to having sex with the actual father. I hung up on her and I had 3 hours to drive home with my son, all the while ignoring her calls. When I got home she then pulled me aside away from the kids and confessed all. This little girl is my world, and I do not have any intention of turning my back on her. It's not her fault that this happened, but her mother now wants me to try to move past her indiscretion and stay together, stating what we have built since is strong, and I shouldn't tell my daughter about this as the real father has no intentions of being a part of her life. I do not think I can forgive her for this. It's too big. I am so angry right now at her and all her friends that knew but kept silent. I can't leave because I don't want her to state that I abandoned my family. I'm afraid that if I do keep the secret from my daughter, that she will one day find out and hate me for it. If I stay, I can't talk to anyone about it. They will be confused and astounded that I stuck around, and it would make me feel like less of a man. I would bottle it up and let it eat me up and then rage quit my life. Update. My son was at his cousin's house for a sleepover after his event. I went out with my aunt and uncle, and the friends showed up at the pub we went to. When my aunt and uncle went home I stayed to chat more. This broke my heart today. I'm a cleaner at a hospital. I work in med-surg mostly. We have what you would call a swing bed for those people that need multiple surgeries and stay a while, and they're mostly single bed. I've grown quite fond of this 40-year-old woman who's been having multiple surgeries. She is cancer patient. She loves telling me stories of her travels while I'm cleaning her room. Always seems very cheerful, even though she's going through chemo. We always seem to share similar stories of our travels and places we visited in the world. Even though I'm not Christian and she is, we pray together before I go. I feel it's the least I could do because I've grown to enjoy our talks, and she asks me to, so I do because I just want to see her happy. This week they changed my schedule to Tuesday Saturday schedule, and I'm usually a Monday Friday person, but I let them change it because we're short-staffed. So Friday comes and I go and we talk, and I tell her that I'm changing schedules, and she doesn't seem as happy as she usually does. So I ask if there's anything that I could do for you, which I'm not really supposed to, but I go and I buy her favorite snacks, and the nurse says it's okay, I won't tell anybody, and as far as I know she has no family, it's just her. So I go and I have my days off. I don't really think about it, but Tuesday comes around and she's not in her room, and I have to clean it, and it still smells like her, and I get really sad, and nobody would tell me what's happened to her. So I assume she went home, or she got better, or she moved into another part of the hospital that I don't work in. A day goes by, and I ask the charge nurse what happened to so-and-so. Just waves me off. She's busy as usual, so I continue my day and clean the rest of the rooms on my list. And at lunch today I found out that she didn't make it. It really broke my heart. I really wish I could have seen her on my days off. I'll always remember the smile she had on her face. May she rest in peace. My husband took the tires off my car. He got up early this morning. I didn't think anything of it because he goes to the gym before work. I saw it when I went to go look for my son's toy in the car. All my tires were gone. My heart sunk because I thought he must have been mad about something. Called my husband, asked him what I did. He said, "You did nothing. I just prefer you not go anywhere this week." I said, "Why didn't you just tell me that?" He said, "I wanted you to understand. You know, words aren't enough for you. Sometimes I'm so tired of his games. I don't even know what he wants from me anymore. Sometimes I see where I messed up, but this was completely unexpected. I'm so loving toward him. I don't deserve this." My husband didn't defend me and it's making me want to leave him. A few weeks ago, we were in a road rage incident where we cut someone off in traffic and it pissed the other driver off. The left lane was merging into us and the car that was meant to give way to us wasn't slowing down, so we had no choice but to cut off the person to our right or we would have collided with a person merging to our left. The car followed us and tailgated us, beeping its horn, and my husband kept trying to give the car room to go around us, but the car would slow down with us and speed up with us, and it followed us almost to our house. I am 7 months pregnant, and with this car following us I didn't want a mysterious driver knowing where we live, so we pulled into a petrol station instead. I got out and a man got out of the car following us, and my husband stayed in the car. I told the man what happened and why we needed to cut him off, but he wouldn't calm down and instead was shouting and swearing, telling me I should learn to drive. When I told him it wasn't me driving but my husband, he called me a husband, a coward and a bitch. So I said it really was all we could do and apologized, but he slapped me and started to yell louder. A man had pulled up to pump during all this and came over to help me and told the guy to piss off or we would call the police. I was stunned because I'd just been slapped by a stranger and I was in hysterics. My husband was just sat in the car during this whole ordeal. He didn't get out even when the man had gone. I got back in the car and we went home and I didn't say a word. My husband just looked guilty but didn't say anything. Now I don't want to even look at him. He can't even back me up in an argument. I'm pregnant with his child and he can't help me. What a prick. Edit. I'm going to edit it now because I'm awake and I won't be tomorrow. First, I don't fight everyone IDKY, that's just become the accepted truth now. But okay, thumbs up. Next, I'm not going to leave my husband, I am just ranting. At the end of the day, I love him even if he is a tool. He's soft and he drives like a dick and makes people angry, and then I clean up his mess because he doesn't want to confront angry men. If I don't do it, then who will? His mom? Actually, probably. I don't want to think too much about it. The point is that it works because it says an IDK. I like protecting him most of the time. I think because this time was so traumatic that it was just a lot. It's overwhelming and hard to describe how it feels and the anger I feel towards everything when he doesn't want to talk about it. I think he's embarrassed that he doesn't like to confront people as well. It's something we need to work through regardless. I'll force him to talk to me tomorrow about it. Maybe in the car so he can't escape. I'm going to sleep now and IDK file update because you guys are really mean. I broke my ex and I'm happy I did it. Mev 22 and Alex, M23, dated for 6 years. Last week I found out he cheated on me. After a huge fight, he admitted he cheated on me at least a dozen of times. When I told him to get out, he started to beg me to forgive him. Gave the full "it didn't mean anything, I only love you" speech. I was crying hysterically, yelling at him the usual "I loved you, I did everything for you, you don't deserve me," etc. He started crying, saying he'll do anything to make it up to me. So I said something along the lines of, "You cheated on me at least a dozen times. You want me back? Fine. One condition. You watch me F a dozen guys. That's my condition. Yes or no?" Surprisingly, he agreed. Last night I had a guy over and Alex had to watch the entire thing. This guy was good. Like really good. I had a great time, but Alex, he left and I haven't heard from him. His brother informed me that Alex is a complete mess. He's been crying nonstop. He quit his job and college this morning. I broke him. I'm not sorry. I feel good about it. I loved him so much. He broke my heart and gave some trust issues that I don't think I'll ever be able to fix. Call me a horrible person, but I don't care. My dad almost passed out from laughing when I told him, and my mom kept repeating, "You're awesome." My brother, however, he said I went too far because he was clearly sorry or he wouldn't have agreed. I'm leaving my husband because he's not upholding his part of the deal. My husband and I got married pretty young, 23, and we have been through a lot together, but I would say that our biggest struggles have been our careers and deciding on which paths to take. By the time we were 23, neither of us had graduated college yet because college and life is expensive, and we don't come from money. We both had to choose between working to survive and working to further our education on multiple occasions, ultimately setting us back in college many times. My husband was working dangerous situations in construction at the time and I was working dead-end retail jobs. So one day we sat down with each other and really discussed what we wanted for our future in our life, and all of it came down to us bettering our lives, which came to furthering and completing our education. So I decided then that because we still needed to survive, I would work to provide for us while my husband focused on earning his environmental engineering degree, since he only had 3 years left for his degree versus my year left in undergrad and 4 years for med school. so we came to an agreement that he would solely focus on finishing his degree so that he could in turn provide for us while I focused on med school solely down the line. He finished and earned his bachelor's, as did I. I went at my own pace, taking the bit of classes I had left here and there while working full-time as a caregiver to earn a living. I was so proud of him, and even prouder when he landed his dream job at a great company many months later. The job he landed is in his field. It pays amazingly and offers great benefits. I gave it the 90-day provisional trial to see how my husband meshed with the company and to see how things were for him before I even brought up the possibility of me continuing my education. After the 90 days, I sat my husband down to talk to him about the plans I have to continue on to med school. He convinced me to give us a couple of months to set up a rainy day fund just in case we needed it before I quit my job, which I fully understood. 6 months went by and our rainy day fund is pretty well padded. So I again talked to him about school plans, and he begins to say that he wants to start a family now and doesn't think we could work out starting a family, and all my attention being on med school. We have talked about starting a family, but once both of us were in the fields that we wanted. So I reminded him what we agreed upon, and he told me, well, I think right now is the perfect time to start a family and I want one. So if you choose to go to school over our family, I'll be forced to part my ways with you. I stood there in complete shock of what he said to me, but ultimately decided that I love my husband, but not enough to give up on my education goal. So I'm giving in to his ultimatum and parting my ways. My stupid little fish saved me. As a joke, I got a betta fish. Don't worry, he's in a planted and heated 7-gallon tank. I named him Your Mom, Yim, for short. Since I have the humor of a middle school boy, I thought my bond with the fish would not be as strong as it actually is. The future looked bleak since I was, and still am, going through a rough patch. I considered giving up on everything. As I was walking back from getting water, I make eye contact with a fish. He does little zigzags at the front of the tank. As I came closer, he became more energetic with his zigzags. He looked genuinely happy to see me, and he was not hungry since I had fed him an hour prior. I started full on sobbing. It was the first time in my life where I felt appreciated without questioning if it was a lie to make me feel better. Now, whenever things are looking bad and I am considering doing something I may regret, I think of that moment.